RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, in Shitsville, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Pat Scorpion in New England representing. As always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do is LB, Lauderdale Boss, Shuttleworth the God, aka the GOAT artist, RingGangRadio.com in the building. Soul Wars, nigga.
Yes, sir. Bring Gang in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey yo, what it do? You already know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxer in the building. Ring Gang Radio all day. Let's go.
Hey, Bodega P, straight from the sewer as usual, man. You know, keeping our cities safe, you know, from the Foot Clan and other mutated creatures and whatnot, and Shredder and Krang, all that shit, bruh. You know, as always, man, we appreciate your service to the city, bruh. Word. So yeah, we got a nice show for tonight. We got some topics to talk about. First one up to bat would be the recap of the second PBC card, post COVID. This one, because this was on, was this on Fox or FS1? I keep on forgetting.
Regular ass Fox.
Fox.
Yeah.
So I got a question off the bat. Since when did PBC get into the horse racing business? Because was that boxing we was watching or fucking horse racing? Like, we just
horse racing, roller skating, ice skating, figures. I don't know, bruh.
Yeah, no. First, even before the fights themselves, like there was a lot of things that were irritating me that kept on mentioning. Like, the fucking how many interim belts are being created and won and defended within PBC, and them not mentioning the WBO. Or they made one mention of it when they had to talk about top welterweights because they couldn't leave Terrence Crawford on there. You know, they were like, okay, there's Terrence Crawford.
I wouldn't be mad if they did, though. I wouldn't be mad if they left him out.
Nigga, shut up.
Of course you would.
That's the principalities of this, nigga.
I mean, because usually top welterweights fight top welterweights. All the top welterweights on PBC have fought top welterweights.
Well, nigga,
but that one guy on the with the WBO belt, let me see, top welterweights, no.
Well, either way, though, like them not mentioning the WBO, of course, is kind of silly since last week, you know, one of their fucking fighters actually won a fucking WBO belt. So that was already irritating. But they kept on mentioning the interims and the regular shit, and I'm just like, dog, like these are not the actual WBA champions. Yeah, like these.
Honestly, I drown all the belt talk out. Like I already know if it ain't fucking Spence or Pacquiao. Or okay, Crawford too. Then the belt don't mean nothing.
Exactly.
And it already halfway means something with Crawford. So other than
or in my case,
interims, I'm good.
Or in my case, I'm very. I watch PBC like a hawk because you know there are a lot of niggas that try to tell me about PBC, and you know, and I can't have.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, because you got a chip on your shoulder with PBC. Like I watch boxing as a hawk. Not just one promoter, like.
I don't watch one product as a hawk. That's PBC casuals. I watch.
Yeah, that's true. But you still be like, you put your glasses on for the PBC.
You got it right.
Like my glasses are on for everybody.
You know, like I said though, people want to talk about PBC, they better be able to come with it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no.
I have no interest in what GameStop belt is right now has the best value. I'm good on that.
Yeah, it's all about the opponents for me. Like if it's a good fight, good matchup, that's all I care about. If it happens to be for a legit belt, then hey, wow, that's good. That's awesome. You know, that's like you order some fast food and they give you 2 fries instead of 1. You're like, oh shit! Like, now you got a bag to snack on while you driving home.
Yeah, no, but in my case though, I can't have niggas that are GameStop champions or interim champions or regular champions, whatever the fuck champions, and then actual legit world champions, bro. That's a no. You know, I can't have that. So that's that was just that was just the minor thing off rip that was annoying about the broadcast. And then, as you mentioned before, the damn fights. Now, on paper, the fights were kind of decent. You know, it wasn't like, you know, it was just more or less, some of it was just curiosity. Like the first fight, you know, they had a Cuban prospect, which I know with, you know, LB Cubans are a sensitive topic, you know.
Yeah, wait. Y'all gotta stop framing me like I got something against these niggas. Shit.
Nigga, you do.
If y'all lived in Florida, they would have something against y'all. So fuck all that.
But anyways, yes, there was a Cuban on there, David Morrell Jr., who's 2-0 as a prospect, and I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck is he in the interim bout anyways? And he was facing the cat who was 22-1-1, len-nox, Alice, you know, because they were pronouncing that shit wild. You know, I'm always thinking, it's like, isn't this supposed to be Lennox? And Lennox is like len-nox. And I'm like...
Because the Americans don't like to pronounce the second N.
I'm like, dog, you fought
Who gives a fuck with your boy?
I was like, nigga, shut your ass up.
And then they ran with that shit too. They kept on saying,
then they kept saying, oh, Lennox, like, just call him Lennox. And if he got a problem with it, nigga, we've been calling you Lennox all your life. Shut your anchor baby ass up.
Yeah.
You know, that shit was stupid.
The commentary as a whole was just on some other shit. Like,
it was poor. It was really poor. Like Brian.
Honestly, I feel like Brian Kenny, like he gets devalued with them niggas.
Well,
like,
no, I've said for the longest. I've said this before. Like, Lennox kind of devalues the, like, anytime Lennox is on board as commentary, I already know the commentary as a whole is gonna be pretty bad.
He could have just left it with Goosen and Brian Kenny, and I'd have been pleased. I'd have just
they're like they're like inside jokes and shit. It's just so stupid. Like,
honestly, they was enjoying themselves too fucking much. There was times where something good would happen, and there's action in the fight.
And they'd be seconds like, oh, a knockout just happened. Oh,
yeah, they'd be snickering and joking and.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad. I like to hear people have fun, but
it just seemed like
with better chemistry than that.
Yeah, and that's one thing. How you joking have no chemistry, bro? Seriously,
and constantly, like.
Yeah, like even when they're joking, they're always off page with each other. Like that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, Lennox should not be on in anyone's group. I don't understand why he's in there. Like niggas used to hear him on HBO. Like the only time that Lewis was actually invested in the fight is with a fighter he didn't like.
Yeah, he's become worse than. I was gonna say he's become Foreman level bad. I think he might be worse than Foreman at this point.
Dude, he was always worse than Foreman. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, Foreman was entertaining. Foreman was
entertaining, and Foreman at least had chemistry with people. He might
say
something.
I personally could never stand fucking Foreman and his damn like over exaggerations and like it just became annoying with him.
I mean,
I'll take that over Lennox Lewis and everything.
Yeah, it'll be you're hearing Lennox like, oh, that's the shit right there, or like this. He was speaking like Pip Pip Cheerio voice. You know, it's just like it's always.
And sometimes you needed Foreman to exaggerate sometimes because Larry Merchant was so fucking cynical at times. You needed something like Big George just be like, yo, man. Yo, chill with all that shit. He's trying his hardest. You don't know how it is to damn have somebody snap a jab at your ass.
It's just like he's like I just don't like how like he has so many isms for like a professional boxer, a Hall of Fame all-time great. Just like the things that he says, like you would expect better. Like I don't know, it's just weird. It reminds
Lewis.
No, Foreman. Both of them, honestly. Now, Lennox has gotten worse. Like, really.
Dude, Lennox been worse and then got worse. And worser, not even a word. And I don't even want to say it.
And the funny thing is, too, is like, Lewis has always been seen as an intelligent fighter, intelligent person. But when he speaks, it's just like,
trash.
It's trash. Like, Mike Tyson's always been seen like they make fun of his voice. But when Mike Tyson's in the booth, you listen to him because he says
he speaks clearly. He gets his thought. It's like Lennox Lewis be fumbling. Like honestly, niggas be cracking on how Floyd talks sometime and he stutter. But Floyd is like a magician level speaker compared to Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, exactly. Like they need to get
and you know what? Because Foreman had personality. He had charisma.
Yeah,
and Lennox doesn't have that. It's like
he didn't have that as a fighter, and he sure as hell doesn't have it in the booth.
Yeah, so I'm sorry guys, we had to stray away from that, but the commentary was on some other shit, man. So back to this boring ass running match.
Yeah, and it was almost as disrespectful as the first two fights. Like David Morrell and Lennox Allen, like there was a lot of things that Lennox Allen was basically he tried, but it seemed like he couldn't even hurt a prospect. And Morrell was just like you could tell like he was falling in with his punches. He had good combinations, he threw good combinations. But there was,
slapping,
but he was slapping. He was kind of
cuffing his shots.
Man, I wasn't as low on Morel's performance as y'all were. Like all
Morel
things
looked
considered.
trash, like just awful, slappy, extra movement for no reason.
Yeah.
Like that shit was horrible to watch to me. Like it was annoying. Like if he would have stopped len-nox, then I would have kind of eased up, but he didn't, and I'm looking at that like.
Yeah, I mean, there were things I didn't like the he was so inaccurate that like anytime he would try to throw power shots, it would end up as rabbit punches. Like,
exactly.
What is wrong with this nigga?
Yeah, and
his accuracy was horrible. Like,
it looks
enough punches where they would just land just cause.
And like Lennox hit him, like Lennox must have hit him with at least like 5 or 6 counter left hook, counter right hooks. I'm like, bro, is so like he leaves himself wide open for in exchanges. Morel, like every time he was getting countered with a right counter hook. Like, every time he ate them, but you can't do that against better competition.
No, he can't. Especially at 168. Like God forbid he actually gets something. He fights someone a lot better down the line. Like I actually thought Lennox Allen would actually do something because if you're 22-1-1, you should have all the experience. You should be able to handle a young Cuban prospect.
I was impressed that Morel was able to go. I honestly was not expecting him to go the distance because dude has never been 12 rounds at all. So, I mean, I give him props for that.
Yeah, no, but they need to slow his roll. Like, he has this interim belt now. Don't try to put him in against like a live body. You better.
Oh no, he's not ready for that.
Yeah, he's not ready. You got to put him in against like someone. To build him up a little bit for at least about 3 fights or something like that. Regardless of this interim belt he had.
The only thing I was impressed was his stamina. That's it.
Yeah, he had good work rate. Extremely good work rate.
And this movement, I mean, all that running and slapping, you got to, like.
Yeah. Oh, man. So,
I see some potential, but he needs a lot of work. But I'm just saying, for his third fight, all things considered, when you consider that it was his third fight, it wasn't that bad for a guy that only had 3 fights. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he did go the distance.
Yeah, he did, and it wasn't like huffing and puffing. His stamina wasn't struggle, any of that shit. So, at least that's good. I mean, he has a gas tank.
Yeah, I mean, he got something to work with.
The happy feet can be fixed if they can fucking. He has way too happy feet.
Yeah, he needs to get better sparring. That's what that is. Yeah, better sparring to actually fix all that shit.
Like, how do you have the upper hand on somebody and still like you're hurting the guy and you have happy feet? Like, what is wrong with like that? Just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no. It's either that or he's like in the middle of trying to switch his style from whatever it was before. And he just didn't finish it all the way. So I mean, yeah, he has plenty to work on, but at least he has the physical tools to make it work or to make it happen. So, but yeah, no, the fight was not it wasn't very pleasing to the eye. It was kind of dull at some pace because it's like
I mean, the fight was good for like the first 6-7 rounds, and then it just got to a point where it's like, all right, man,
somebody
get rid of this dude. Yeah, wrap it up. Like it's that Chappelle skit.
Yeah, wrap that shit up.
Wrap that shit up.
Oh man! And then the second fight after that, Omar Juarez versus Willie Shaw Jr. That was even more of the happy feet.
That was the worst. Yeah, both of them had happy feet.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck was going on. Like one nigga that. And the nigga that lost Willie Shaw, he could have won that damn fight if he just stood his fucking ground. Because he was hurting that guy. He was hurting Juarez, and Juarez was the prospect. Like all he had to do was just stand his ground and throw punches.
I'm not gonna lie. After like 4 rounds of dancing, I kind of tuned out.
That second fight, the running was on extreme. Like I was watching Sonic the Hedgehog or some shit.
Yeah, I was like,
they doubled down on the running.
Yeah, like dude, cause dude fought like a cross between I had it in my head the other day. One of the fighters was Emmanuel Augustus, and the other guy was somebody else. I can't remember, but it was just like you could tell he had skill, but it was just. Yeah. And Morrell reminded me of like a poor man, Francis Barthélemy.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on with all this running as action. Like, there's movement, and then there was wasted movement. And there was wasted movement all in those first two fights. And Willie Shaw, and I was disappointed because I was like, Willie Shaw could have won that fight. But he just either was afraid of getting hit, too afraid of getting hit, or too afraid to commit to some punches. But it was just like, you're
Track
not
that on PBC.
I mean, he wasn't the PBC fighter, so at least he could do was try to make a name for himself,
Yeah.
So that fight. I mean, at least thank God, at least it was only 6 rounds. Imagine if that was an interim belt for 12 rounds.
Wasn't the fight originally scheduled for 8 rounds?
Yeah, they made a call in the back.
Shit.
There's like, oh,
they
wait.
did one better and just call that whole fight off, man. That boring ass shit.
Yeah, they were probably wait a minute. Like, we didn't expect the first fight to go a distance, man. We gotta cut this shit a little short. So these cats.
Like, how come they ain't put some heavyweights on or some shit? Like, I ain't gonna watch FS1 after this shit show.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Like, look, man. Like, promoters, y'all niggas gotta damn match y'all cards up. Like, don't give me 2 running niggas back to back.
Yeah. And the worst thing is too is the FS1 fights were actually pretty entertaining.
You see what I mean? Y'all doing the damn ESPN Plus bullshit.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like literally like you saw.
Oh yeah, where the best fights are on ESPN, and then when you turn on ESPN Plus, it's
or reverse sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, why y'all having the jobber fight on ESPN, but then I gotta go to ESPN Plus for the good fight? Like,
no, just put it all on Fox. Buy the time for Fox. Fox gives you the budget, and then just show all the fights from the beginning, the prelim fights, and then the main card. That's all you have to do, But what do we know? We're not the promoters. We don't.
Yeah. What do we know? We're just we're just bystanders. We don't watch boxing. Yeah, we don't watch boxing enough. We don't know what's
post up and promote and talk about the fight that y'all not really promoting like that.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like, yeah, this fight was not. They got no type of promotion. I was like, you would think they would go up because PBC had been off air since March with the Kanaki shit. You think they were going to go hard with trying to market, promote this shit. There was nothing for this.
These fights were worse than the fucking rollout, and that's saying something.
Oh, and believe me, we will get to the rollout for sure. But at least though, the main event was a good fight. It was a good fucking scrap. Jamal James and Thomas Dulorme. Like, even before that fight, though, I was looking at some odds, and there was some strong odds for Dulorme, like plus 355 for him to win, or like plus 450 for him to win by knockout, and like he was plus 1400 for a draw, which is kind of low. So it's just like, man, I really need to jump on this. I really should jump on it.
Yeah, I thought about it, and then I passed because I realized that putting money on fragile niggas is not the best idea. It's kind of a waste of money. So.
Well, I'm only thinking about just so because Dulorme's had a revival of late. Dude survived his early buzz going to shreds after losing to Abrego, and then for some reason he's actually maturing as a fighter, somewhat. So it's just like it was curious to see what he could do. And with Jamal James too, I wasn't overly too high on him. Because he's one of the he's one of them tall, lean niggas that
I'm still not high on him.
Yeah, neither am I. Like, he's one of them body punching niggas, man.
I'm more impressed with him than Morrell, but I mean that ain't saying too much. But
me and LB have kind of basically put him as a hybrid of a poor man's Keith Thurman and Robert Easter.
Keith Thurman's footwork and sometimes defensive movements, and Robert Easter's gung-ho, let's fight mid-range even though I got these long-ass arms.
Yeah. No, actually, that's the thing. He actually has fucking T-Rex arms because Dulorme had a longer reach. Like, everybody has a longer reach to him, and this thing is 6'2".
Yeah, the funny thing too with James is he has all his physical attributes, but he fights on the inside. Like he's not one of them niggas that stay on the outside. He doesn't do all that. He'll fight you
But
on
the
the
thing is, when he
inside.
fought on the outside, he was landing like good, long, clean punches that were hurting.
He's not Paul Williams. He's like, he shouldn't be fighting on the inside.
Yeah,
So Paul Williams had that problem too. Like honestly, I feel like he kind of throws better, straighter, longer shots than Paul Williams did. Like Paul Williams, a lot of his shots were like at that half arc.
Well, that's why I'm saying that's why I said I felt like it was like for Paul Williams, his style worked for fighting, you know, in closer range, whereas James is kind of just wasting his attributes.
right, and exactly.
Yeah,
And
they both did in that regard, though. Like, but I feel like James kind of fights at a distance a little better than Paul Williams as far as his punching ability. Like, he really throws long shots where, like, you wouldn't even notice his arms are shorter if he kept his punches out and kept his distance and just jabbed and just threw the right hand.
well, in this case, though, I mean, Paul was never a cat that actually fought on the outside. Like, never. That wasn't his style. Like, I don't think I ever seen a disciplined performance where he actually fought on the outside. That wasn't his thing.
12 round of Margarito fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much one of the few, probably one of the few times. And he still fought Marguerite on the inside too. Like,
Yeah. But remember, he needed that last round to like clinch the fight, kinda. So
yeah, I mean, well, dude threw like 120 fucking punches in that round. You know, dude went ham.
hell yeah.
Yeah, that was
A lot of it was a circle and jabs, like basic shit.
Yeah, that was my nigga though, man. I miss Puncher, you know. But I digress, you know. We'll talk about Puncher at some point. But yeah, no, Jamal James. Like at first in the early fight, I was telling LB, I was texting him, I was like, man, Dulorme's landing some shots on him because I thought Dulorme he was fighting like he was kind of motivated, like he was fighting.
Yeah. He was getting the better. He was getting the better of him during exchanges in the early rounds, especially.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I should have really put some money on this shit. Them odds, they want niggas going to line about them odds. You know, Dulorme might have a good chance of knocking this motherfucker out. I should put money on there. But then, after I think about midway of the fight, Dulorme kind of lost steam. And you know,
the body punches started accumulating on his ass.
Yep. It was
Jamal James. He don't let you beat. He doesn't let you beat him without extending some type of effort.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That gas tank or like crazy power. Like you're in for a long night with Jamal James.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised. Like, I mean, yeah, even Dulorme, as you know, even as he was running headfirst into the face, as you were referring to it, like, you know, Dulorme was landing his punches here. I mean, James was landing his punches here and there. But yeah, it seemed like those punches really took. I didn't think they were even hard enough to really affect Dulorme like that. But Dulorme,
I think it was, to me, you know, he lost steam in the late rounds because of a combination of that, as well as like the ref was kind of fucking holding him back his work. He was warning him like too many times.
yeah. Like yeah, there was a combination I think Jamal James landed where dude like went here. I think he landed like an 8-punch combination and shit like that, like straight fade on Dulorme and shit like that. I was like, where does that come from? You know, but you know, Jamal
but Dulorme fights more like a front. I always felt like Dulorme fought like a front runner. It just you had to be good enough to just kind of stop him or just take him apart from you know after he gets us out of this system in the 5th round or so.
Yeah, he kind of does lose steam. Like he could, like I was telling you, LP. You know, Dulorme has talent. He can just never put it together when it counts. When it counts, he never shows it.
Yeah, when it counts is after the damn 6th round.
Yeah, like I mean, with a break, I think the only fight where I was confident that he got beaten up from like beginning to end was the Abrego fight because he wasn't in that fight at all. With Crawford,
Yeah.
he was actually even with Crawford.
Yeah, I actually thought he was kind of giving Crawford that work. And,
He
you know,
was.
He was.
you know the Mean Machine fight, but Crawford was getting touched up against Dulorme too, bro.
Yeah, no, Dulorme was really putting hands on Crawford.
Like you said, he's a front runner. Unfortunately, he's Puerto Rican Amir Khan.
But then though, I mean, you have the Dulorme fights with Vargas, which he should have won. You know, for some reason, you know, but of course he got jobbed there. And then the Ugas.
But that was the same. That shit was a draw though. Like they both got dropped. Like I felt like Dulorme did a little better, but at the end of the day, it's just like the Jamal James fight. Like he can't separate himself from people in the fight. Like there was no round where he clearly like. Well, I'm not saying like he had won rounds that he won clearly, but it wasn't no like, oh my god, like can Jamal James come back in the next round?
Yeah.
Like there was always like, well, damn, Jamal James ain't losing steam. He's keep coming, or moving or throwing. Like,
Yeah, no, that dude was tough, bro. Like, I mean, I didn't think. I mean, for someone that usually someone that's so wiry like that, I would have think at least the shot would have like affected him. But no, that dude is tough. Body wise, is super tough. So I was impressed by that.
yeah.
Dulorme, man, and like I said, he tried, man. Lord knows he tried. Like, but yeah, his tank like pretty much started going to zero after that. After by the later rounds. And it was just Jamal was just pretty much all he was just boxing him up for the rest of the fight.
Yeah. So, like he made the first part of the fight hard just so he could kind of relax a little bit in the second half.
Yeah.
Thurman strategy right there. Like that's a Thurman coming out of him.
Word.
Fight like Robert Easter for the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just cruise and win like Thurman in the second half. Boom, you got it.
But that was a hell of a fight, though. I mean, like I said, it kept my attention from 1 to 12. Like, it was what was needed. So
it was a good fight, and honestly, the trash ass undercard made that fight better than what it was.
True. But at least it was a good fight on paper that actually turned out to be a good fight. Not great.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not gonna shit on that. Like I felt like it was a good main event.
Yeah.
But with all the fighters PBC has, like Dulorme James would have been a great co-main to something even better.
Absolutely.
I can dig that. Yeah.
Like, 'cause that, even when I first heard it, I was like, okay, this is a good little bout, but it didn't scream main event to me.
It didn't scream Fox to me either. It should have screamed.
Yeah, it didn't. Like that needed to be the undercard for damn Hurd, Michael Soro, or somebody. Like
like a significant fight. I mean, granted, it was an interim welterweight title fight. I roll my eyes as I say that.
Yeah, I'm not giving those damn those interim titles any type of shine. This was a regular ass top contender level fight.
Yeah, but the wild thing is too, if Manny Pacquiao decides like, hey, he wanted to give up his belt, this dude would actually be the fucking champion.
Champion to who?
He'd actually be up. The WA would upgrade him because that's the fucking belt that he has.
But who would he be a champion of? Like what? The 2-for-1 titles at GameStop? Like you ain't beat no nah, nigga. I'm not respecting no bullshit titles like that.
I mean, that's how Thurman and Laura became champions. Or at least Thurman won another belt legitimately.
Yeah, he won another belt and shit, but Thurman, competition was on par, with what a champion should have. See, a lot of these niggas, they not fighting nobody on the way up, so when they get a belt, you're like, okay, these niggas gonna step it up. Nah, lateral.
Well, I mean, before this fight, remember Jamal James fought Antonio DeMarco in that wild ass brawl. So
I'm not saying specifically Jamal James. I still wouldn't call him no champion if he get upgraded to that shit. Like he didn't take it from nobody, but Jamal James has been grinding. I'm not gonna take that away from him. I think he has. I like to see him and you guys run it back. That's a real main event.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I know Jamal James. I think he actually called out Pacquiao, but yeah, I don't think he'll get that fight.
Yeah, and that's some hard work for Pacquiao.
Yeah, and then too. I mean, it doesn't have any heat right now. You'd have to put some heat behind it of some sort. Meaning Jamal James has to put some heat behind it.
Jamal James gonna have to, he need another marquee name. Like he's going in the right direction. DeMarco, Dulorme, but he needs that one name. Like that just make you take notice.
Exactly.
He's almost there though. Like.
Yeah, I mean with Dulorme, Dulorme is still serviceable. He's not a jobber yet. He's probably a jobber to the stars because he can beat.
He's a little truth machine though.
Why did I think you were gonna say that shit?
I mean, what else can you call Dulorme? I don't want to call him jobber to the stars just yet. Like, and even then, usually a jobber to the stars has at least one great win that you could always be like, he beat so and so. Like Dulorme don't even have that yet.
No, he don't. Not even in his HBO.
He fits the gatekeeper role by kind
Yeah,
of.
he a gatekeeper, truth teller, all that shit. Like
Yeah, he'll give a top fighter some.
we get at Trout, but Trout legit beat the shit out of Cotto.
He did.
And you can't ever, and then it's like he has a close ass fight, with Canelo where that shit really could have been a draw on some open scoring bullshit. So he has all that going for him. Then he gets close fights with the Charlos, So he at least keeps his, his title for Jobber to the Stars relevant.
Right.
Even the draw with Goucher.
Yeah, no.
Come on. Dulorme hasn't earned that yet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
he's gatekeeper.
Yeah. I can see a gatekeeper. If you want to give him that role. I mean, if he starts losing to other gatekeepers or jobbers, then you might have to start lowering his stats a little bit.
Yeah, like matter of fact, like Figgy need to come back and fight Dulorme.
Facts.
Oh Lord.
And of course,
I don't know what it's like because PBC got so many names, and it's like I look at him and I'm like, damn, why this nigga ain't never get a good bout that we could have been like, okay, like.
Well, Figgy wasn't supposed to be a gatekeeper. He was supposed to be more than a gatekeeper.
That's also
fighting.
That's true as hell.
These niggas is basically fighting to
But they're not
rearrange
even
their
using
roles.
them. They're not even using them for anything though. Like I don't know what's he doing.
Well, he has problems. He has a lot. He has some real problems. That's the reason why he drinks too much and eats.
Yeah,
But
and eats. Yeah.
Problem. So that's just,
Yeah, I mean that didn't stop Hatton and Duran, but okay.
Well, it stopped Hatton, not Duran.
Yeah, no, that
It didn't
definitely
stop
stopped.
Hatton. What I'm saying is, it ain't stop Hatton from getting to the Hall of Fame. Like Figgy's not even Hall of Very Good yet. So if it's stopping you and you supposed to have the juice and you haven't even gotten to the Very Good Hall, then yeah, nigga, I ain't trying to hear no eating. I thought y'all niggas was gonna say he had real problems or some shit. Eating and drinking, nah, fuck all that.
No, he's alcohol. He gets. He's got.
Yeah, he is kind of a raging alcoholic.
Yeah, he's like he has DWIs and shit. Like he has problems.
Oh, so I give you that. Don't be mentioning the fucking eating and shit. Nah.
Well,
Yeah,
because he blows up to 170, 180 pounds, like in them police blotters when they be putting his business out on Front Street. It's always 180 pounds.
I think at this point, I think at this point we're gonna see his brother fucking surpass him.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, his brother takes punishment too. Like I still ain't forget that fight on the fucking the Wilder Ortiz card. That dude took some punishment. Them Figueroas though, they have issues, but man, they're tough and they punch hard too.
They're tough, but they basically turn into punching bag status. I could give you credit for being tough, but once you start becoming a punching bag, it's like you kind of being tough doesn't mean much to me anymore.
When you're not trying to do nothing about it, yeah.
Exactly.
Especially these guys on the level. It's one thing to be a punching bag to niggas better than.
Exactly.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. You don't want to have that Alvarado Bam Bam Rios fucking punching bag.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a whole different, especially with Alvarado.
Yeah, because Rios actually had a decent career.
Yeah, Alvarado had a hard streak of fights though, but between that and some quote unquote drug use.
It just I don't know. Sometimes I feel like promoters do that shit. They'll take one guy and make his road extra harder than the next guy, and y'all promote both of them.
Yeah, no, we talk about this. Like Mike Alvarado had a hard road to where he got to, and them fights deteriorated him quick, or not quick. It took to deteriorate him over time. But that's a whole.
He was all in the streets and doing all types of shit. So like, I don't know, man. But at the end of the day, I just mentioned Figgy because I feel like he's a name that if Dulorme serious about gatekeeping or stepping up, he need to beat him or some other name that's out there. Like a lot of dudes PBC have, like they'll lose or have their moment, then you don't hear nothing about them anymore. Like I remember Sammy Vasquez was a nigga that was promoting and like he disappeared.
Well, yeah, I mean he got brutally. He had two things. He got brutally knocked out by Collazo, and that dude had like issues because he was in the army. I think he had like some PTSD, some shit going
Yeah,
on.
he did. Yeah, he had some PTSD issues.
They promoted it every time, but it's like, damn, nobody has issues till they get fucking knocked out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but
So it's like, what's the point, man?
Collazo scored a highlight reel knockout on.
I remember it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but come on, like, dudes get knocked out all the time and then have more fights and come back. Like, I'm not coddling these dudes.
The funny thing too, I remember people were trying to like really big up Sammy Vasquez. You know, like really big.
I
up
never
his-
saw it in him.
Yeah, because he beat
I mean,
Aaron
he was
Martinez on
decent,
that piss poor
but
PBC fight.
it's like he never got to the point where you could have put him in there with a top guy. Like, they got to Collazo and Collazo got to him, so it was like, we tried, and that was it.
I mean, because I remember I bet money on this. I bet Felix Diaz would beat him because Felix Diaz was like an underdog for some reason.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought Felix was gonna beat him too.
And I think I won $300 from that fight because at first they're talking about a draw, and then them judges didn't even take the point away like he was supposed to. So,
Yeah.
it was more a draw.
Felix
And I got
Diaz
my-
another one. Like, and like after they loaned him out to Crawford, I didn't even hear his name no more.
Yeah, Crawford basically hoed him out.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It just, I mean, hopefully Jamal James could get a better fight next time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not saying that this fight wasn't good. It was good, but I'm talking about
A
like,
higher profile fight.
a higher profile fight, you know, because he's entertaining. Like, he's never in a boring fight, and he puts punches together very well, and you know, you want to see that on TV, you know.